During lunchtime to talk about the BlueTop Circus, y'all. We have not talked about the BlueTop Circus in a while, and that's because I've been kind of out of the loop on what's been going on with the BlueTop Circus. I've been seeing bits and pieces here, but not enough to where I felt like, okay, I could come and do a solid update. And I still don't feel like I'm updated enough to do a solid update on the circus. But there was something that happened that I wanted to come talk to you guys about because I want y'all's opinion. Okay. So we know that we talked about um Krishan Rock. I did a post about Krishan Rock and the baby being able to walk or whatever. We ain't talking about none of that because Krishan don't got nothing. Well, she slightly had something to do with what we are gonna talk about during this lunchtime live, but not really, right? Not really. This focus is on Blueface and how he's conducting the circus over there. And with his two main circus acts right now is Jade and Alexis and Nevaeh, right? And Jade and Alexis is the baby mama of the two older children, and Nevaeh is pregnant with the baby currently. Okay, so these two circus acts, I guess, are in competition with one another. And what blows me is that Jaden is always, as much as people like wanted to try to give Jaden all this credit, she always finds herself competing back and forth with these women. And the reason why I say that she finds herself competing back and forth with these women is because Blueface like totally disrespects her. Just like totally. You said I haven't had time to catch up with the circus. I'm here for okay, yes. So I'm not all the way caught up, Miller. But I want to talk about some things that did transpire over the weekend that I did catch, right? So, what do you think about Jaden? Because people always want to give like Jaden all of this credit and making it seem like, oh, she was done so terrible. But to me, I feel like Jaden is a glutton for punishment because she's always putting herself at competition with these women. Like, I don't mean no harm. And Carlissa needs to come to a harsh reality. Blueface ain't for nobody. I don't want him with nobody. I don't want him with none of these women. I think Blueface needs to go get himself some therapy. He need to really sit down. A lot of these men do. A lot of these men. They need to go get some therapy and realize that this way that they conduct themselves. Steve Harvey says something. I got my opinions about what Steve Harvey had to say in relation to the P. Diddy situation, right? But he said something important when he was talking about that. He was saying that just because you have the money, the power, and all of these things to where you can do these things to women does not mean that it's okay to do it to women. And that's the thing I've been saying all along. I understand, yes, all parties got to be accountable. But you have to think about the person that's in power, the person with the money, the power, the respect. They are always going to be held more accountable to the situation because they do have the ability to lure women in with their charm and tell them what they're going to do and how they're going to treat them and how their life is going to be so good and blah, 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 blah. Or it doesn't have to be the man that's in power. It could be the woman. You could reverse it around and say the other way around, right? So the person that's in power is always going to have the accountability to the law, I mean. Because when you look at it, I know people don't want to accept luring as those things being luring, but most people don't. Most people want to be with someone who is well established, who is well off, who is well known, and they want to be loved by them genuinely. Like everybody that is seeking to be with a person with that type of status is not out for a particular agenda. They want to feel like that I don't think some of these women, but some of the women, they want to feel like they are genuinely loved by this caliber of a being. And so that is why it doesn't matter to me. Just because you something is permissible doesn't mean that it's moral to do. And this is how you can end up finding yourself in a moral dilemma that could end up having some criminal implications later down the line, right? But we are watching Jaden. You said, Miller, you said Jaden is a character of the circus. She exactly. She is like the top circus act. Like Blueface got her like the line jumping through all the hoops, all the rings of fire, and roaring at the crowd and all of this shit. Like, and I'm gonna play a clip from this weekend because this is what I've been saying when it comes to how the kids are seeing this, how their kids are seeing this, right? And so this weekend, Blueface had a moment. He's been on tour. We know that because Krishan came out as one of his opening acts on the tour. And then the next thing you know, then Jaden and Alexis was on the next day after the next couple of shows or whatever, right? Still haven't seen the Nevaeh appearance. Still haven't seen the Stunner Girl appearance or them Double Mint twins. I'm gonna call them the Spearmint twins because I like Double Mint. I'm gonna call them Spearmint. We haven't seen the Spearmint twins, and I don't know if any of the rest of these acts are gonna be coming out as he goes on tour because from what I understand, he's on a week rest. So he went home. And this is the subject of the controversy from this weekend. Is the fact that he had downtime to come home and how he decided to spend his time. Where he showed up first and where he took his time to show up last, right? So it appears that he went on a date with some woman named Fifi. Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all. Fifi got red hair, red finger waves. Fifi is sitting up in Blueface front seat with them red finger waves. Now, so let me go back just a little bit. So supposedly Jaden Alexis crashed his tour too. So she somehow over this weekend ended up at the hotel or the motel. I don't know which one with him too. But then he ends up, I seen him yesterday with this woman, Fifi, and Fifi looked like she about as old as Hazel E. I don't mean no, this the thing. At least Hazel to me is better presentation than Fifi. They talked about how old Hazel is, but Hazel at least has a better presentation than this Fifi. But Hazel also got her own, and this is where Blueface is always gonna have a problem. He does not want to be involved with a woman who really has their own because he wants to dictate and control everything. He wants to be made to feel like he's the one who made her, made the woman. Even if she finds success, he wants credit for it. And he's going to publicly take credit. So he knows that with Hazel, he could not do that. So that was his major problem with Hazel because when I look at Hazel E and then I look at Fifi, you should have just stayed with Hazel. I know Hazel in age is older, but Fifi look about old as Hazel, if not older. So he got Fifi sitting up in the passenger seat with him. And apparently, when he came off a tour, this was one of the first things he did to go on a date with a woman and then go, I guess, end up at the hotel with her. He leaves Fifi at the hotel and then he goes home to Nevaeh. Home to his house is what I mean. So they keep putting out here that Nevaeh does not live with Blueface, but she's always there. She's always there. And we've seen on numerous occasions to where he's put her out in order for him to have his bachelor pad back or whatever. But she ends up right back over there. She ends up right back. Nevaeh is trying to find her way up in that house permanent. That's what she's trying to do. And I honestly think that Jaden is helping her. Jaden is about to help Nevaeh get a permanent spot into that house because Blueface is going to do whatever he can to troll all of them. And right now, he knows that Nevaeh is getting to Jaden. And so he's using Nevaeh to troll Jaden. And the thing is that I don't think neither one of these positions is smart because Nevaeh is not paying attention to the fact that she's being used to troll Jaden. And so some of the sweet things that Blueface might be saying right now are all coming from the fact that he's trolling Jaden. Um, but that's exactly what it is. But Jaden's allowing him to troll her with the girl. That's the other thing. And my concern is what the kids are seeing as all of this is transpiring. So, like I said, Blueface decided to go on. He comes home from his tour, and then so that people will know, because Jaden attempts to use this as an excuse, and I'm gonna dispel the excuse because Carlissa told on the whole thing, right? Carlissa told the whole shit. So Jaden is going to chastise Blueface about the fact that he came from tour and did not come directly to see his children. And this is what she says, that he decided to go to a homeless kid and spend time with a homeless kid. Y'all know when that bitch said that shit made my blood boil. Cause one thing I can't stand is for somebody to talk some shit about a kid. About a kid. Like that is a child. And I don't give a damn what you feel about the mama, what you feel about whatever. That is a fucking child. And for you to get on this thing and chastise him and tell him that he's going over there to spend time with the homes, she could have just said, you're spending time with someone else's child. You're spending time with a child that's not your own. She could have said a whole lot of other things. But she classified the child as a homeless kid, that he's choosing to spend time with homeless kids instead of spending time with his kids that aren't homeless. And this, to me, is the lowness of her fucking bullshit that gets me. That's the part that really gets me about Jaden, right? It's so many criticisms I can have of Krishan. I think people think that I be taking up for her. I don't. I have a lot of criticisms. I hope she's evolving to try to do something better. That's what I'm hoping, right? And she's trying to stay herself at least clear from this mess, and that might be the start to get her to where she need to be, right? But Jaden want to keep criticizing people being right in the midst of the circus and then performing as a circus act. And in the meantime, she's saying things that aren't becoming to her character as it relates to Nevaeh's son. This is not the first time that she said some fuck shit to like about her child. And she keeps spewing fuck shit about her child and potentially the child that Blueface is having with the girl. And it's like she's so mad, and she's so mad at Nevaeh, but she's not taking that out on Blueface. Blueface is the culprit. He is the person that is causing all of this. If he wanted to be in a serious relationship with him and he wanted to be in a serious relationship with her, there's nothing stopping him from doing that. He is choosing to be involved in doing all of these things. And the problem is Nevaeh is not the only one he's doing it with. But it seems like every time Jade and Alexis get an opportunity, Nevaeh is the target. And to me, it's going to be any woman that Blueface puts as what he labels quote unquote main woman, even though I wouldn't call Nevaeh that, but that's what he calls her. Any woman that he puts as the main woman, Jaden Alexis is going to target. She's never going to deal with it and take it out on him. He's going to still have all the same privileges. She's going to still do all the same shit and for less, because he done said that he's not funding no woman that he's not in control of. The reason why he gives Nevaeh the money he gives her is because Nevaeh lets him run the show, run the whole thing. He done already said he's not giving no money. I think recently Jaden just made a threat to take him to child support, which Blueface knows is an empty threat. He knows that it's not going to really happen. And so he's not taking nothing that she's saying seriously. But she keeps making herself a part of the circus act. And I think that's what gets me about the whole thing. And she gets mad at the wrong people. She takes it out on the wrong people. And in this situation, she takes it out on this girl's son. So I want y'all to hear the exchange between Jade and Alexis and Blueface. Give me 1 second. All right, this is Everything Entertainment, y'all. This is their video that I'm playing. This is the conversation.
So, do you have a problem? Yes or no?
So your problem is that
do you have a problem? I think it was wrong that you went. I think it's wrong. My problem is I think that you're wrong for going and trying to lay up with some bitch's kid that you do not know who has a father, and your kids have been asking for you. I think you're wrong for that. Yes.
Nigga, you just got with the kids 5 seconds ago.
Okay, now let me explain to you. So you hear Blueface say, man, you just got with the kids 5 seconds ago. Blueface is not lying. Carlissa told it because Pinkface Journey was with Carlissa. The reason that Journey was with Carlissa was because Jaden decided to leave Journey behind so that she could go and do, I guess she had a video shoot, and then she shows up onto Blueface's tour bus. So Jaden had just left Blueface, and this is what she was probably really mad about. She was probably mad that Blueface, after being with her, left, went and had a date with this girl Fifi, or was out with her, and then left Fifi, and then went to the house, his own house, where Nevaeh and Nevaeh's son was, and Blueface streams all day long. So Blueface is streaming with Nevaeh and her child at his house. Now, there's a lot of, I'm gonna bring up something else later because there's a lot of controversy surrounding the fact of how Blueface is interacting with and how he's interacting with Nevaeh's son. And there's a lot of people who don't like it and they think that it's inappropriate. And I wanted to try to kind of ask you guys about that, how you feel about that, right? But Jaden Journey was with Carlissa. And at this point that Blueface and Jaden are having this conversation, Jaden still doesn't have Javon because Javon is on a camping trip with Callie and her sons. So the only child that Jaden has picked up on this phone call is Journey. And she just got Journey because Journey was with Carlissa. And the reason Journey was with Carlissa was because Jaden had a photo shoot. And after her photo shoot, she decided to go crash Blueface's tour bus. And then she ended up with him for the night. So now that she's picked Journey up, Jaden is making it seem as though that, oh, the kids were waiting to see Blueface come off a tour, but Javon is not even anywhere in proximity to see Blueface, and Journey was with Carlissa. So it was just like Jaden is just getting to her kids. I don't know if she expected him to go straight from the tour to Carlissa's house to see Journey or whatever the case may be. But I don't think that this whole argument and conversation is about him coming to see Journey. She is pissed because of what she's seeing him do on stream with Nevaeh's son and how he's interacting with Nevaeh's son. And this is what is making Jaden pissed off. And she's going to say that it has an impact on the kids seeing it, which I could get that. Okay, I could get that possibly it could have an impact on the kids. The reason I don't believe Jaden is because she's not even with her kids. And then you're going to hear Journey in the background, what she's saying to Jaden about how Jaden is talking to her daddy in a minute. So I'm going to press play so we can listen some more.
You have a problem with me? Yes or no? So if you have a problem, just let me know.
I just said I was about to pull up on y'all.
When? You never said that.
An hour ago, I said I'm going to see you soon.
See me soon when? You know I'm not over there. So that's like, it's that dumb shit that I be
You're
talking
not over there. Where you at? You at my arms?
Yes, but I'm trying to figure out if I'm going home or not. Like,
what the
there's no
fuck?
reason to go home.
Why you playing on my phone then?
Okay,
You acting like I can come see y'all right now.
Go come.
You all the way somewhere else.
I bet you busting a nut on that another nigga's head. Just like you did before, babe.
When you coming home?
When are you going to her house? We don't have a home at your place. Why would we go home when you have a homeless prostitute and her raggedy ass homeless kids to get a dog? I'm scared about you. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, we're not talking to you right now.
Now, y'all heard Journey? She said, I don't care about you. She talking to her mama. And she's like, I'm not talking to you right now. Now, Jaden is calling with all of this problem, all this huffing and puffing for Blueface. And using the kids and saying, oh, because you didn't come see your kids and you got your kids feeling some type of way and all of this other stuff. And Journey is like, Journey got an issue. She got an issue with what Jaden is saying right now. And Javon is not even there. Javon is with his aunt on a camping trip.
You be quiet.
I'm talking to you. No. Stop. You don't have no place at your house. You got a raggedy ass bed for your house.
Why would you need a place at my house? You got your own house.
Okay, so I wanted to stop right there because when Blueface first asked Jaden about her being home, Jaden interpreted that Blueface was talking about his house. And so then she started talking derogatory about why would we be home? We don't have no place at your home. You got a homeless bitch at your house. And she starts going in on him about Nevaeh being at his house. But Blueface was never speaking about Jaden coming to his house. He was speaking about Jaden being at her own house so that he could go over there to visit with the kids. But Jaden was interpreting what Blueface was saying as if like Blueface wants Jaden at his home. That is, Blueface is making it clear you have your own home. I was on my way to your home to visit the kids, but you're not even home. So what are you upset about? But Jaden tried to turn the conversation into a conversation as if Blueface was asking her basically to come home, like come to his home, which is her home. And Blueface corrects her and says, you have your own home. Who's at my house have to do anything with this conversation about me? This is what Blueface is asking her.
Why would you want to be at my house? You got your own space. You can take all the niggas you want over there, do whatever you want. You make the rules over there.
Don't talk to her. You don't touch my bag. It's cool, bitch. I'll tell you whenever you're done with your work.
Y'all hear Journey in the background? Journey is all in the background, all up in this adult conversation between the two of them. And I know people always say this is reality TV. But this is the things where I'm saying where I have an issue with how these children, because this is impacting these children. If Jaden is telling the truth and Javon feels some type of way about how he's seeing Blueface interact with Superior, who is Nevaeh's son, with another man on the internet, if she's telling the truth about that, and then now you're having this conversation and you got Journey all up in the conversation, she's reprimanding you, telling you don't talk to her dad like that. All of this shit is still not appropriate for these children to be in the midst of all of this. All of this down the line, like when we look at all of the child stars and all of the like things that we see when we coming from the 80s and the 90s and the trauma that the child stars say that they went through because they was forced to grow up too soon and they was put in adult situations and all of this other stuff. Why isn't this pertaining and applying to what's going on with these children here? Like, this is, Carlissa is okay with Journey thinking that Blueface and Jaden are married for as long as Journey can think it. She's okay with her thinking that, despite the fact that Blueface is conducting himself the way that he is and treating and doing stuff to her mother, that is happening publicly on camera, that can be gone back and looked at and criticized by her children. Right? This is what Carlissa has openly said, that she's okay with Journey believing that Blueface is her mother's husband. Well, why would you be okay with that, with the way that he's portraying himself on camera, knowing your granddaughter can go back and look at that, and then she might think, well, that's how a husband's supposed to act. That's the part that don't connect to me. Right now, she keeps talking about just preserving her little mind. How is that preserving her little mind and her development when she can go back and look at all of this stuff going on, when she's going to have the memories of all the times that she interjected in between the back and forth between her parents? And then she's going to believe that this is how a relationship between a husband and a wife is supposed to be. And then she might end up falling into the same kind of traps. And then if she does it, then you all and the men in her family are going to be ready to be out for blood. But look at how he's being permitted to do this and how it's being excused and justified that it's okay to do all of this. And I understand, yes, Jaden is a participant. And it is why I'm showing that she is not a victim in this situation. She is being a participant in allowing her children to see all of this, not making a protest about that they're seeing this, and knowing that this is where they generate money from and how they live the lifestyle they do. She's okay with what he's doing because it's how she lives her lifestyle. But she's not okay with the women he's doing it with in order to generate the revenue. Because in order for him to generate the revenue, he has to keep the circus going. And in order to keep the circus going, he has to have circus acts. She's not okay with the circus acts, but she's okay with the money that the circus brings. She likes the money that the circus brings in, but she's not okay with the circus acts. And she gets angry with the circus acts instead of getting angry with the ringleader and doing something else and separating herself from that.
Whatever you done with your raggedy ass kids, the fact that you left that bitch in the house already lets me know exactly what's up. You hate the bitch. That's fine. I would hate the bitch.
What's up, pink face?
I'm so much cuter than that raggedy ass bitch.
Now, did you hear what she just said? Jaden just said, Blueface says, "What's up, pink face?" to Journey. Jaden says, "What's up? I'm so much cuter than that raggedy ass kid." This is out of control, y'all. This is out of control. I don't see nobody who condone no woman talking like this. And the reality is she does, and I understand Jaden's kids are Blueface's kids. And so some people might say that Nevaeh doesn't speak on them because she knows that then it will have backlash with Blueface. But Nevaeh does not speak on those kids. Now, there are some people who have an issue because Nevaeh has said stuff about Krishan and Krishan's child. And so that is why some people say they don't care about the fact that Jaden is doing what she's doing because Nevaeh has done and said some things that they don't like in reference to Krishan. I don't think I've ever heard Nevaeh say something about Krishan's child, like nothing about his development or any of those kind of things. You hear her say, I'm not saying that it's right for her to say, but I haven't heard her go here. Not where Jaden is going. Jaden is going low. And this is a child. This is a child. And your children are watching you do this. So while you're talking to Blueface and expressing to him that his son is supposedly upset from seeing him, his son who's on a camping trip, who's not even around, is upset from seeing him on camera interacting with another child, being compassionate and caring towards another child, right? While you're expressing that, he's also hearing you say all of this. And this is why Pinkface act the way she do. This is why any kids that would be around this circumference and in this space would act the way they do and say the stuff that they do, because this is what they are hearing. And if they are hearing this on the camera, imagine what's being said off the camera. Let's continue.
I don't like homeless kids. I'm not homeless.
She's teaching Journey and saying, I don't like homeless kids. I'm not homeless. This is what she's saying to her. This is how she's getting across that her kids are upset about their dad spending time with someone else. Not in a respectful adult manner, not in a mature manner, but she's poking fun and making fun of a little child.
Say that. Yeah, exactly.
And she thinks it, and you heard Pinkface giggle. She thinks it's funny. And Jaden thinks that it's okay for Pinkface to think that that's funny. So the day that Journey takes her butt into that school and says something to a child that she might view potentially as being homeless and get her ass whipped, I guess Jaden and Blueface won't be the only one whipping Journey's ass. Because this weekend, Pinkface did say that Jaden whipped her ass. So I guess that won't be the only one whipping little Journey's ass. Because, and then when that happens, what are you going to do? Because this is what you taught her as a parent. This is how you taught her to conduct herself as a parent. And you think that it's funny that she's giggling about what you said. This little 3-year-old baby that don't know no better. This is what you're teaching her.
I mean, it's not a homeless child. I didn't put you off on that kid.
Why do you care? Don't you got a nigga?
Who said that?
Who said that?
I never said that. I don't know who told you that. Like, are you okay? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, weird ass nigga?
So you don't got no niggas?
No.
Oh. So you just a bird for fun.
That's like me asking you ain't got no bitches. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
That's how I know it's about the money. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. No motherfucking said what's they baby bunk bitch. Tell you this last time. 10K a month. Court. Oh God. Bitch, I'm not giving you $10,000 a month.
So you heard that? Blueface is saying, so after this exchange and this conversation that he has with Jaden, right? And Jaden does all of this and says all of this stuff. She sends him a message and saying, this is how I know it's about the money. And she basically threatens Blueface and tell him she's going to take him to court. That she wants him to give her $10,000 a month or she's taking him to court. Now, this is my thing. Y'all know on here, I've been said that he needed to be giving Jaden Alexis money. So my thing is not about the money. My thing is not about that. He has 2 children who are here. He is responsible to care for them. And as a result, he should be responsible and should have to pay. However, look at the reason that she's saying this now. She just came from having sex with this man just hours ago. Was fine with him being with her. Was fine with him not being around her kids or having seen her kids off the tour bus. But now that he's gone and reverted back and done exactly what he always does, now she's saying this stuff to him. Now she's coming up with this. And it's because somehow it was revealed, I guess, that Nevaeh made $15,000 last month. And so because of that, now she has this issue. She has this issue because she was seeing Blueface playing on the stream with Nevaeh's son Superior, who is the cutest little boy. And Nevaeh was doing good with him, making sure like he's not cursing and stuff online, but she's kind of like let him do it a little bit now. I hope she stop it again, because I don't know if she's taking some directions from them on what to do. But at first, Nevaeh was like stopping him in his tracks doing that. But the last couple of streams, he didn't got away with saying like a little bit of stuff. But the reality is that Blueface has good chemistry with Superior. And I want to say something and be honest. I think that Blueface cares about Superior more than he cares about Nevaeh. I think the chemistry that Blueface has with Superior on camera is much better and loving and caring than he is with Nevaeh. And there are a lot of people who are expressing concern because they feel like that Nevaeh should not be allowing Blueface to interact with her son like that. They feel like it's inappropriate. They feel like it's inappropriate because Superior has a father. Superior's father is very active in his life, and they don't think that they don't think that Superior should be laying in the bed with them, and that he should be left alone with Blueface, how he's being left alone and all of this. And there are some viewers, I don't know this because I haven't watched all of Nevaeh's story, but there are some viewers who says that Nevaeh has a reputation of doing this with the men that she's with, that she allows them to have access to Superior. I don't know if that's true or not. This is what I can say. Do I think that her having him interact with Blueface per se is the best thing? Probably not, because I don't think that Blueface is going to continue to be a permanent fixture in this little boy's life. And that's where I see the error. I don't see that this relationship between Blueface and Nevaeh is going to last to the point where Blueface will be a permanent fixture. And based on that, and based on what we've seen him say in regards to other children, I wouldn't be comfortable and confident that despite what happened with me and him, that he would still be able to have that same level of compassion, of love, of interaction with my child, right? So that's where I see something wrong with it, right? But if we were looking at this in a traditional sense, I think the reason that in society we have an issue seeing men interact with children the way that Blueface is interacting with Superior is because we do automatically assume that every man is a predator. There are lots of women out here that they automatically assume that. And whether we assume it because there have been experiences that people have had that cause them to be cautious, or whether people have seen other people's experiences and that causes them to be cautious, or just because they had some type of negative view of men, right? They they automatically assume men are going to be predators. And so then sometimes that can interfere with a child receiving the proper love from a man because of that. Now, like I said, for this given situation, I don't think I recommend it, or I definitely wouldn't recommend it at this stage that the situation is in. I don't think it's a wise thing to be having to do. But I do recognize that Blueface is Superior. There are sometimes when you can tell when something looks staged. To me, the interactions that happen between Superior and Blueface don't look staged to me. They don't. To me, it seems as though that Blueface does have a genuine liking to the child. And he seems more genuine in his actions with the child than he actually is with the mother. And one of the things that might be making Blueface more compassionate towards Nevaeh, allowing her to stay at the house, him doing things to try to help her and to help her out, to help her to come up, may have to do with the care that he has for the child. That's what I'm starting to wonder. Because even in like the person that you might look at and you might say, okay, they might be the worst person, or you might think they are a horrible person, or they do horrible shit. They have moments and glimpses of compassion. They have things that touch their heart and soul just like everybody else does, right? And so to me, it seems like there is something about Superior that is, in addition to the fact that now he's gotten her pregnant, so he has a child that he's about to have with this woman, right? In addition to that, his interactions with Superior kind of tell a story to me, or at least of what I think I'm seeing. And even though I don't think he's romantically all that interested in Nevaeh, I don't think that she is his favorite girl, that she is the one that he would have chose, that this is his dream girl. I think that it's because of whatever situation he knows about her and her son, and now the care that he has developed for her son, that now he's willing to find a way to try to make the situation worthwhile and to make it kind of work, because somewhere in his narcissistic brain, he thinks that he can do something to make this child's life better. Not just the child that he's going to have with Nevaeh, but this little boy. When I look at how Blueface is interacting with this little boy, to me, it looks like it's genuine. Now, y'all can drop in the comments, let me know what y'all think. But to me, I see more genuineness in his interactions with the child than I actually do with the mama. So now this brings me to another topic. Because this is the reason that I said that I think that Blueface uses people just to troll each other. He uses one of them to troll the other. Right? So there were statements made this weekend as a result of all of this happening and all of this stuff going on. It evolved into a conversation between Nevaeh and Blueface on the stream. And the conversation came around to prioritizing households. And so basically the conversation that was had is that Nevaeh and Blueface were building a family within their own household. Now, Carlissa always want to keep talking about the girl don't live there. She always want to keep talking about he's going to send the girl on her way. He has even said a couple of times he's going to send her on her way. I think some of us look and believe some point he's going to send her on her way. But he's having a conversation with her in the house in reaction to all of this stuff that has happened about this conversation with Jaden, what she had to say about him not prioritizing her kids and all of these things. And so Blueface began to explain on live stream that the household that he is creating in his home with Nevaeh is the family that will take priority. Now I want to know what y'all think about that. Because this is an impasse that a lot of blended families face at times. This is actually a topic that is often a point of tension for a lot of blended families. Blueface is on the stream with Nevaeh having a conversation about all of what's gone on over the weekend as a result of him not going to go see his children first before coming to his home and seeing her and her child. And Nevaeh is expressing her disgust with how Jaden spoke in reference to her son. And then they go to do a sleep stream. And while I don't know if it was when they wake up or whatever, at what point I saw it, because I only see clips. But Blueface makes it clear that the family that he is creating in the household with Nevaeh is the family that will take priority. And that any family members that don't want to be a part of that family will be second. This is what he says. As a result of Blueface saying that, now this is what I gotta say. Nevaeh did co-sign him now. Nevaeh co-signed him and agreed with him. But as a result of that conversation, Carlissa then goes live and she has a bunch of derogatory things to say about that. Carlissa goes live. She minimizes what Jaden had to say about Nevaeh's child. She addresses it and says, I told Jaden that's not okay. I had to talk with Jaden. I told her that that's not okay. She shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, Jaden didn't make it okay for a man to distinguish between children. Why not? Why not? What Jaden was saying to Blueface on that phone was making a clear distinguishing line, drawing a line, a marker against children. Blueface expressed to Jaden that he looks at himself as being in a stepfather capacity to Superior, who is Nevaeh's son. Now, there might be a lot of people who won't agree with that. There might be a lot of people who don't will accept that or think it's too soon or think that it shouldn't be happening. But the reality is that that's what he has identified himself publicly and said. So as a result, it would be the same thing that Carlissa is accusing Nevaeh of agreeing with. Jaden is doing the same thing. And I understand that Jaden's children are Blueface's biological children. And do I think that they should take priority and precedence now in this situation? Absolutely, because they are his biological children. But to disingenuously use those children and make up things in order to try to lambast him and say that this is why you have a problem with what he did, that is wrong. Because what Jaden called him about and when she called him had nothing to do with the children. The children weren't even with her. They weren't even in her care. Javon is not even around in proximity to see Blueface. And Jaden did gaslight Blueface in that moment using the children. But Carlissa, when she went live, she minimizes what Jaden had done earlier, talking about the child being homeless, making fun of it, getting Journey to join in with making fun of a homeless child. And then she focuses on what Nevaeh is agreeing with, what's coming out of her son's mouth in his home. And then she talks about Nevaeh throwing away the Bible pillows. So this is going to be my last subject in the circus for the Lunchtime Live. So anybody who has seen anything that got to do with this BlueTop circus knows that Krishan was gifted a Bible. It was one Bible pillow. She was initially gifted by Casanat. Okay, I guess one of the times when they went on to his show, her and Blueface, they used to go on there. And when she went on to his show, he gifted her with this Bible pillow. And so then, as a result, she received, I think, 2 additional Bible pillows from 2 of her fans in the mail that were at Blueface's house in the studio where he does all of his live streaming. They were placed in there. And so when Krishan went to go leave that house, she was trying to take her Bible pillows with her. And Blueface refused to give them to her. And he told them that she wasn't getting them back, that he was keeping them. And as a result, those Bible pillows have been in that studio ever since. Now, there was one other time when those Bible pillows went missing. And that is when Stunner Girl went there. I think maybe the second time the Stunner Girl went to visit. When Stunner Girl went to go visit the second time, people noticed that those Bible pillows were missing. I don't know if it's because Blueface hid them or if Stunner Girl got rid of them, or I don't know what happened to them, but they were missing. And the people noticed it and they talked about it, right? This is how I ended up finding out about the Bible pillows, because I didn't even know the whole backstory behind the Bible pillows. I knew that they belonged to Krishan, but I didn't know all of where she got them from. I didn't know him denying to give them back to her or any of that. So now we fast forward to Nevaeh in the studio. She's been in there since Blueface has been on tour, and the Bible pillows were in the studio. Well, the fans are saying that the night that Krishan showed up on the Blueface tour, that after that, they noticed that those Bible pillows were gone. They were no longer in the studio. And so Blueface returns home. And when he returns home, the Bible pillows are gone. And Blueface goes to question Nevaeh about the Bible pillows. Now, I want y'all to hear a little bit of what Carlissa had to say about the Bible pillows.
Pulls away. I don't know why she would do something like. Why Nevaeh throw the Bible pillows away? I don't know why she would do something like that, other than hopefully she's gonna put some of her own decorations up. But I don't know. Maybe she was tired of y'all talking about Krishan's Bible scriptures. Y'all probably scared her. We might have took them down because y'all was over there talking about Krishan's Bible scriptures, and then she seen them Bible things up in Krishan's house. So maybe she took them down because she was uncomfortable with them being there. I don't know. I'm scared of them lizards too. They be so fast. Javon and Carter be catching them. That's why I ain't scared of them no more. She said they were bad energy on her story. Well, you know, Jonathan got prayed for anonymously through these Mexican ladies on his trip yesterday. And when I tell you I had just ushered in all the angels in the morning time and they came fast, quick fast. So you don't never got to worry about nobody being removed away from his doorstep if they not coming with the right. If they coming with any of that, they going to disappear. Guarantee you money, they going to disappear. So if it's a problem, trust and believe. Just like them angels showed up when that bus broke down, and God only knows why the bus broke down, and them angels showed up and blasted everything and covered him in the blood of Jesus. Honey, because I was busy with the kids, honey, but I surely ushered all the angels yesterday. And I looked up, honey, and them they was out there praying for that boy in the middle of the goddamn wilderness. Do you hear me? On the road, they showed up. Y'all better stop. That's why I tell you, Jonathan is not to be played with. When you come doing that voodoo stuff, you gonna come up short playing with him. So you just lay low and watch how God works, because he don't let two people, he don't let them be together. He'll remove it like a bad habit. They took. Remember when Jonathan I used to keep his shoes on the Bible by his room, and somebody snatched them shoes off the Bible and took them off. Now they got their baby shoes on the Bible. It's okay that you learned something, but you took my son's shoes off the Bible. Remember that when I had my shoes on the Bible over there? Then somebody snatched them off when they got mad. You proud and be snatching your own kids playing with mine, honey, because the angels will show up in the middle of the goddamn desert on the way and cover it all in the blood of Jesus and have all of y'all confused. What y'all thought y'all was about to do, what y'all meant to do, it ain't gonna work.
Now listen to this shit, y'all. Listen to this. This what I mean by Carlissa with her delusional self. Somehow she exempts him from being part of whatever the devilment or evilment that is happening and all of this stuff with the circus. And just like she tried to warn Krishan right before her fight about not thinking that she got so much God and nobody else don't got him, this is how she talks. She talks like Blueface is just so chosen, and everything that he do, she sanctions it and she justifies it and she makes it okay as long as she's in good grace with him. Now you're going to hear her talk different when he talking crap about her. But as long as he's in good grace with her, this is what she does. And she sanctions all of the stuff that he does. And she doesn't look at how all of the strings and puppeteering that he's doing, how it's impacting all of this situation. But she makes it seem like all of these women got the strings and they are his puppet masters. It is not possible for all of these women to be the puppet master. It is not possible for all of these different women to be the ringleader. But she throws it out on them, and then she makes it like he's so covered. What makes him more special than the people that he's involved in this? What makes him more special than the people that he's doing this to? And this is what I mean, how this traditional view of Christianity got people effed up. It has people effed up in thinking that they got some type of special circumstance and situation with God that will allow them to treat people bad and God will still bless them, while then nobody can treat them bad. It's a effed up position. It's an effed up theology. It is not the theology I believe in. It is not how I interpret what that scripture is saying when I read it. But this is exactly what she always does. And this is what makes me have this love-hate relationship with Carlissa. This very thing that she's doing right now. Right now. Is not speaking on nothing that her son has been orchestrating this whole time. Now, he got an accusation out on him that some inappropriate messing happened on that tour bus that he could end up being responsible for. WAC 100 had to step in order to deal with that situation and still trying to deal with the situation. But yet and still, this is how she's talking about him. This is how she's talking about her son. And this is what I mean, like a warped sense of reality. This is why this cycle continues. This is what I talk about when I talk about systems of patriarchy. This is why this cycle continues. Because as much as people want to say that the women are not being held accountable, that is a lie. That is a lie. The women are overly accountable for their actions. And this is the justification and excuses that the men get. And this is the justifications and the excuses that people want to stick to when it comes to men. They want this to stay the status quo. They want us to accept this drama. And they want us to make the women overly accountable for the situations while giving no account to the males who are the puppeteers. That is the problem. The problem is that you have to look at who is the puppeteer. There is no possible way that 20, 50, 100 women are the puppeteer of one man. That man is the orchestrator and the leader of the circus. And so when it all comes crashing down, that's who it comes crashing down on.
Because the blood of Jesus be out on the middle of the desert for Jonathan. Because his mama do not play when I go in, honey. Y'all think it? Think you playing with me if you want to. He'll show up late.
She says that as if God doesn't have mercy on the people who don't have a mama praying for them. That if your mama ain't praying for you, you are doomed. And whatever is allowed to happen to you, and even if it's at the hands of my son, oh well, because that's your fault because you ain't have a prayer mama. That's what this shit sound like.
Late in the midnight hour and make you and your kids disappear. Stop playing now, y'all. Some people ain't to be played with.
Did you hear what she said? Will make you and your kids disappear. This is what she is saying. We are watching Blueface publicly humiliate, make spectacles of all of these women. Are these women allowing it? Yes. But is this his behavior? Yes. Is his behavior more tolerable than theirs? No. Are they reaping a consequence? They currently are reaping consequences of the things that he is doing. Whether people want to admit it or not. Jaden is showing and displaying that she's reaping the consequence of the choices and decisions that he's making. She's reaping them in real time. While in due season, he will reap his reward. And that is what it means when it says what goes around comes around. What goes up must come down. Jaden right now is choosing and electing to stay in this bullshit because of whatever her entanglement is. And she is benefiting some, but she is also reaping consequences for her choices to stay in it. Right now, he is benefiting from it. At some point, the table will turn. It always does, as the world turns. And Carlissa is speaking on this subject as if her child hair on his head cannot be touched. That is what Samson thought until he met Delilah. And who did God punish as a result of Samson's sin? Samson. Yeah, the sinful city ended up going down also in the end, but so did Samson. Samson reaped the consequence of his choosing not to listen to God. But this woman, this mother, this sister of patriarchy, this friend to the patriarchal order, is upholding this type of thing. And she is on here lambasting the women, except for the one that's her favorite. She's covering the one that she deems to be her favorite. And she's lambasting all the other women instead of looking at who is the puppet master. You calling these women evil. You calling them, you saying they participate in witchcraft. You're saying all of this stuff. What are you saying about your son that this is his circus? He's gotten up publicly and said he is the leader of the circus. He is the ringmaster. Well, who becomes liable in the end? Not the workers, the owner. That's who becomes liable in the end.
Honey, and when I pray, honey, I wake up and I ask him where I hold the Lord accountable for my prayers, honey. Shoot, I ain't out there like these other mothers sinning and enjoying their life, honey. I'm over here and I'm enjoying my life, but I'm over here ain't breaking none of the commandments. So when I reach up, honey, he come on down here for me. Thou shalt not, and I do not.
Now, isn't this the same level of arrogance that we just heard her warn Krishan not to do? We just heard her warn Krishan not to express this level of arrogance when talking about God. But listen to how she's doing.
He'll send some angels out in the middle of the desert for one of mine, honey. You will come up short. It's guaranteed. So her removing them Bibles, if she didn't have good intentions on removing them, you see what the last person that took my son's shoes off that Bible, what happened. So you can watch it if you want to. Honey, y'all seen him. He didn't even have no Jehovah's Witness or no niggas, honey. He sent the Mexicans out there, honey. He said, I got a couple Mexicans right over here for you. And she gonna get it done. He ain't even have no niggas available, no Jehovah's Witness, none of them diehard pastors or Christians, honey. He sent the lady on the goddamn repair. They sent the repair lady over there for your daddy, honey. Shoot, they talking about.
Now, when she says they sent the repair lady over there for your daddy, honey, that means that Pink Face Journey is sitting there right listening to this bullshit. And this is what I mean by teaching the next generation to uphold these systems of patriarchy. All the things that Carlissa has said over the last few weeks in reference to Journey's interactions with her parents, which she wants them to continue to display in front of her. All of these things is to shore up these same old oppressive ass systems that have oppressed women. And has been a reason why lots of women fall into and accept this type of shit and go along with this type of shit. The system of patriarchy is the reason why women go along with this shit. And she is saying all of this in front of a little 3-year-old girl who is in real time watching how her father degrades her mother publicly for her to be able to go back later and look at it because it's documented. She's saying all of this in front of her grandsons who are going to look at this and believe that this is okay for them to conduct themselves like this. And this is how the cycle just continues on and on and on and on. Because this is the type of shit that is condoned. They use the Bible to sanction condoning these systems of patriarchy. And this is why women will fight you tooth and nail the hardest when these systems are trying to be changed. When people try to create situations where women can come up out of this so that they can give them an equal footing so that they don't have to be subject to this type of shit. Just like people talk about how recent slavery ended, do you realize how recently women were able to own property? And like I said, the system of patriarchy goes back much further than the systems of racial oppression. But this is what we are seeing. This is what is continued to allow to happen because this is the way that the world has turned. And people think that because the world has always turned like that, why fix what ain't broken? They don't think that this is a broken way of thinking. They think that this should just be accepted. And there should be no call or no organization for women to think something different and move differently. There are women who don't think like this, who believe that they just are a part of the elite and that they don't have any responsibility or they don't have any or they aren't required to go back and try to help the women who are still dealing and frustrated by all of this. This is the shit. This is right here. Just what Carlissa just did. And that's why I played it for y'all. I wanted y'all to hear this. It was in relation to, it's more to this live. I will post it. This is a Ruby Kai for Angie and Miller. This is a Ruby Kai video. But this was in relation to those Bible pillows about Nevaeh throwing them out and then giving them the blue-faced dog that came from Kashawn. But I wanted y'all to hear Carlissa and how she speaks and how this signifies what I've been saying about systems of patriarchy. This is the old order. This is the group of women who do not want these systems to change. That they are okay with men just presenting themselves as good for nothings and making excuses and justifying it and treating people poorly and having bad behavior. They are okay with that. And they are okay with women having to be accountable for whatever bad behavior they accept without making the men accountable for the bad behavior that they display. This is what we get. And this is what we got. Y'all, I got to end lunchtime live because I do got something that I need to do at 3:00. But I enjoyed talking to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this live. Whether you were listening to it live or whether you catch it on the replay. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, concerns, you can leave it in the comment section and I will be sure to respond and answer to them all. Thank you so much for you all participating in this live with me today, and y'all have a good evening.